So please, Sam, if you can introduce yourself and what you're going to talk about today, that will be great.
So is my screen visible on your end or?
Yes, it's visible.
Oh, nice. So I guess it's my first time sharing with you. So I always believe that in technology, no one is a monopoly of knowledge. So basically, we're going to learn how to make use of Amazon Q. Yes, especially for us students and developers. So you can see my face there. So I'm not a bot. Normally, you always see me chatting on the chat section. So I want to go back now to my presentation so that we can now focus on the agenda of the session. So a little bit about myself. So my name is Macharia. Yes, and I'm a student currently in my final year. So I'm a GDS lead here at the University of Eastern Africa, Baraton. I'm also a Microsoft Learn student ambassador, also a Postman student leader, and also a crowdsource influencer. So outside school, I'm also the design team lead for AWS School Community Day, which we are still in the process of organizing, and it will be held in October 5th at Strathmore University. Actually, I'm also going to be a speaker on that day. Additionally, I'm also a technical speaker guide at AWS User Group Kenya. I'm also event organizer at WTD Kenya, that is Write the Docs Kenya. I also do volunteer at GDG Doret. Also, I volunteer as the outreach head at DevSource India. So you can also connect with me on X. I wanted to say Twitter actually. Anyway, yes, you can also connect with me on X at Engineer Sam or also on LinkedIn. I'm Sam Macharia there. So now diving into what the session is about. Yes, so it's about Amazon Q and how we can integrate it into our IDEs. So there are different ways we can make use of Amazon Q. So Amazon Q is currently available on AWS console, which I'm also going to share with you an example. And also in our IDEs, that is example being the common one, VS Code. Then it's also available in the AWS documentation, AWS console. You can also integrate it in Slack or also Microsoft Teams and also Amazon Code Catalyst. So what is Amazon Q for those of us who don't know what Amazon Q is? So it's a generative AI powered assistant created by Amazon Web Services. So it basically helps customers build, optimize, and operate applications on AWS. So what are some of the key points that I want you to understand about Amazon Q? So Amazon Q is trained on over 17 years of AWS experience and expertise, making it an expert in AWS services, best practices, and solutions. So more to that, focusing now on the aspect of how a developer can make use of Amazon Q. So it helps you to reimagine the experience across the SDLC. So when I talk about the SDLC, I'm referring to the software development life cycle. So it basically also helps developers and IT professionals, that is you and I, to build and manage applications. So when I'm talking about applications, are these applications secure? Are they scalable? So that is one of the functions of Amazon Q for developers. So it also helps us to debug and write tests for our code. So if you have any challenge trying to debug your code, you can make use of Amazon Q. So additionally, it also has a chat section where you can converse with AWS, Amazon Q to help you figure out some of the latest technologies and brainstorm on some of the code that you're not familiar with. So I want us to rush through the theoretical part of this. So I want us to interact via the chat section. I don't want to turn this into a lecture. So if I might ask, so how many hours do you think a developer spends writing code per day? So do you think it's option one for less than 1 hour, or 1 to 2 hours, or 2 to 3 hours, 3 to 4, or above 4? We can converse via the chat section. And Maya, you can also help me interact with the audience.
I'd say, of course, above 4, of course. Like, there's no other answer.
Above 4, what about the others? What do they think?
Sabine, what do you think? كم ساعة بقعدوا developers على الكود coding every day? I'd say above 4.
Above 4. Let me reshare my screen again. Nice, 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 nice. Awesome, awesome. Mhm. So surprisingly, based on research that was done by software.com in the year 2022 in January, they realized that the medium developer spends less than 1 hour a day writing code. So do you believe that?
I don't know. Like, one problem takes at least 3 hours to debug, you know?
Now we are talking about the medium developer. So I'm assuming they did this based on a survey of about around 1 million or something developers. So they realized that most developers spend less than an hour a day writing code. So it might be true, by the way. So moving on. So now we are focusing on the life of this developer and how they can best make use of Amazon Q, especially now in the SDLC. So what do you guys understand by SDLC?
Software development life cycle?
Yes, 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 yes. Software development life cycle. So by the way, in terms of now getting to get some of these answers from Amazon Q, maybe I can show you one of the easiest ways, the same way that we make use of ChatGPT. Maybe I can reshare my screen. We can see the response that we get from Amazon Q. Share my home screen, entire screen. Oh, nice. So Maya, I hope that my screen is visible now.
Yes, it is.
Nice, nice. So this is Amazon Q, which is integrated on the AWS Management Console. So we can just do a simple search. What is SDLC? Enter. So now you can see it's searching. So Amazon Q works the same way that ChatGPT works. So underlying the Amazon Q is the Amazon Bedrock, making use of large language models. So as you can see, the software development lifecycle is a systematic approach to designing, building, and maintaining high quality software. So you can see we have different stages. We have the planning phase. So this is where now the developer collects requirements and creates a software requirement specification. The design phase. This is where now the technical part of now getting to architect your software. Then we also have the implementation of the phase where now the developer does the actual coding. Then we also have the testing. This is where now the developer does the testing to confirm that everything is functioning properly. Uh, then we also have the deployment. This is where now we push the application now to the production environment. Then we also have the maintainers now focusing now on the necessary updates and as well as now doing the fixes for the bugs. So we now have a rough idea of what Amazon Q is. So I mean the SDLC is. We can now focus now on the presentation again. Nice, nice. So as you have said now, we have different phases of the SDLC. So the first stage now is the planning phase. So this is now where the Amazon queue and the developer are involved in conversational coding. So I'm also going to show you how that is easily done. So now we have the second phase. Uh, so the second phase now is where we create code. By this I mean how you do the inline coding and how you can best make use of Amazon Q as your companion in your IDE. So we can also integrate it on our command line interface. Then the other phase is the testing and secure phase. How do you do a unit test generation as well as security scanning? So then the last phase now is the operation. So I'm also going to show you how to best know how to optimize your AWS resources. So actually, the version of Amazon Q that you have seen on the AWS management console, it does a simple scanning of your account, and you can best know how to optimize your AWS resources and costs. So we can also do code maintenance and as well as modernizing. So this is where now we update our code. If you are using outdated code snippets, you can maintain your code easily using Amazon Q. So now I would like to hear your feedback. So what is your favorite IDE? Is it VS Code, IntelliJ, Visual Studio, PyCharm, Sublime Text? What is your favorite IDE?
I would say VS Code and IntelliJ. Kind of IntelliJ is my best. And VS Code, I use both.
What about the others?
What do you use, Sam? What's your favorite?
VS Code, obvious.
VS Code, yeah. It has like a lot of language support, which is really nice, especially when you're using it to code JSON and Python and a lot of stuff. It has a lot of integrations and extensions.
Yes, 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 yes. So now we can take a look at, though they are not all that clear. So we can take a look on some of the IDs that are supported by Amazon Q. So we have Intelligent, Visual Studio Code, so etc., etc. So in terms of the language support, there are a lot of languages that are supported by Amazon Q. So we have Java, Python, JavaScript, TypeScript, etc., etc. Also for infrastructure as code, for example, if you are interacting with Terraform, which uses HCL, and others like JSON, YAML, they are also integrated, or you can also make use of Amazon Q to do what we call now the inline suggestions in your code. So I'm also going to show you a simple example of a client who wanted me to develop for him a simple project, but I was not that familiar with the language. So now in terms of integrating Amazon Q in our IDE, so we best make use of AWS Builder ID. So as you can see here, there are different ways of getting to sign into Amazon Q Developer. So on the command line interface, you can make use of AWS Builder ID, or you can also make use of the IAM principles. So also in Amazon Code Catalyst, you can also make use of AWS Builder ID, but on AWS websites, you cannot make use of AWS Builder ID. But in AWS chatbot, though they did a repetition, although I did these screenshots from the AWS documentation. So you see, you cannot use AWS Build ID. So these are some of the different ways that you can integrate them and get to sign in. So now you might be wondering, is Amazon Q available for free for developers? So currently we have a free tier for Amazon Q developer, but it has some limitations. So with the free tier now you get to code faster with code suggestions. You also now get to review code licenses with reference tracking. But in terms now of the limitations, we have 50 interactions per month. So you can make 50 prompts on Amazon Q developer via IDE, that is Visual Studio Code. But for the Pro tier, you have to pay $19 per month for you to get to use all the resources available without limitations. But I also think that they also have limitations. But one of the advantages is that you get to make use of most of these advanced features, such as making high amounts of prompts via the IDE. So I'm going to take you through how to set up Amazon Q Developer in your IDE, how to chat about your code and generate inline suggestions. So in case you have any query about Amazon Q, we have developer communities such as AWS repos, which is what do you refer to it? It's called Stack Overflow version of AWS, which is AWS repos. Then we also have the community.aws for you to get articles on how to write code and build applications faster and easier using Amazon Q. So these are some of the communities available for developers to ask questions or get more information about Amazon Q. So for example, Amazon Q Watch was changed to Code Whisperer. So that information was available on community.aws. So yes, I covered it here. So Code Whisperer changed to becoming Amazon Q developer. So if anyone asks you about Amazon Q, uh, it's a new tool that was rebranded from Code Whisperer. So now I guess we can go to a short demo here and there. Show taskbar. I want to show my whole screen again. So I have a question for you guys. How many of you have ever coded in a language known as COBOL or Pascal?
Isn't
I
that
know
a
most of
really?
us does.
It's very old. Like who codes in Pascal anymore?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah,
It's one of the oldest
Cobol
languages.
legacy.
I guess my grandfather coded in COBOL.
Wow. Of course, this your grandfather is old.
So you can take a look at one of the examples that I saw here. So it's available. Maybe I can also share this. It's a project that was coded in COBOL. So you can also access it by the chat section there. Let me share. Nice. So you can see Cobol is 87.4% here. So I can simply clone this project. Then now I come to my folder here. Maybe you can call it Cobol. AWS. Nice. CMD. Git clone. So let's wait for a few minutes, seconds actually, for us to clone our clone our project. Nice. So we navigate now to our IDE, which is Visual Studio Code. So there it is. So now we are going to see how to integrate now Amazon Q. So now on your IDE, you just use your keyboard, simply click Control Shift X to go to your extensions. Control Shift X. Then you simply search Amazon Q. Yes, so it's going to appear there as the first extension. Then you simply click install. So mine is already installed. So I don't want to take much time trying to uninstall then installing it again. So once you get this Amazon Q, it's going to install. Then it's going to appear on the left pane of your IDE. So maybe now I can navigate to my project section. So now I want to go to app. Then it's one of the oldest languages. I even don't know the structure of this project. So now, assuming now I want to get to know more information about my project. So I simply come here. Then you can see I'm getting under these three buttons here. I'm getting this because I have a lot of extensions. So I have the under client, project dashboard. So, but it's going to be available on the left pane here. So you simply click your Amazon Q. Then it's going to open a tab for you to ask anything about your project. So maybe I can ask, the other thing I also have to make sure is that my project is open. So, because then again, for Amazon Q to get an overview of what your project is about, you have to make sure that you have to make sure that the files that you want to know more information about them, that they are open. So assuming I want to know more information about this file here, so I can simply come here and let me minimize my console here. Then I can simply highlight this file here. Yes, so I've just copied that file section. Then I can right click. After selecting, I can right click, then come here to Amazon queues. So I'm assuming that everyone has installed this. Then you can come here to explain. So you can either tell your Amazon queue to explain a section of your code or either the whole file. Or you can also refactor your code. You can also fix a bug that is existing, or also optimize or send it to prompt. So by sending it to prompt, you are telling it to send it to the chat section, open a tab on the left. So we want to get an overview of what this file is about. So you click here, explain. You can see it's generating an answer for the file section that you have selected, and you can see the response that we are getting. Maybe I can expand this chat tab. So you can see the highlighted section is the code that we have selected, then the explanation. So this code snippet defines a COBOL, a data structure called what? Maya, what is the spelling of this?
Cap, cat, tupia, catupi, cactupi, cactupi.
Don't swallow your tongue, Maya.
It's cactupi, right? From cactopus. Is it a cactopus?
From characters, maybe, probably. So which appears to be used. So you can see for a developer who doesn't know what the project is about, you can get an explanation of what your project is about. So again, also remember that now I'm using my free tier. So I only have 50 interactions with Amazon Q in my IDE. So I have to do this selectively. So now the other thing, I want us to hop onto another project that I had cherry picked. So let me refresh this. So here's this. So this is a project that I had built using Amazon S3. Then also Route 53. Also I did use ACM, Amazon Certificate Manager. What else? Yes. So I want us to get to see how Amazon Q enables us to get code suggestions. So this is it. Nice, 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 nice. So assuming I want to delete a code snippet somewhere like here. So I've deleted my H2 here. So maybe I can start coding again. I hope that it's going to work. Mhm. Maybe you can omit something there. Let's open this one again with our live server. Mhm. So let's see. So assuming I want to add another element like img, I want us to commit an error on our file here. Mhm. Oh, nice, nice. So it's appearing here. So, no, I guess this one is Copilot. Maybe I can first chat. Go to deactivate Copilot first. Copilot. Disable. Nice, nice. But guys, in case you have any question, keep them coming. I'm willing to respond to your questions as you get to see how Amazon Q enables us to fix our problems. So let me do with the git file. So I guess the best way of making use of Amazon Q is in case you have a project that you can compile to get to see results. For example, if you are using something like React, so you get to see that if code has an error while trying to compile, normally it usually generates some errors on the terminal section. Maybe I can try another project. I guess I have another project somewhere. Mhm. Nice, nice. We can try out this one. The previous one, don't save. So this project, I built it using React. So maybe now we can navigate to our folder, Render Shield, Render Shield. Nice. So I see we don't have the node modules folder. We also have don't have package.lock.json. So maybe you can do npm install. So assuming now this takes long to install, maybe you can now ask Amazon Q. You can just copy this code snippet and then you come to your Amazon queue. You come your Amazon queue, then you can ask my npm install is taking too long to download. After using this, how do I fix this? So as we wait now for the answer to be generated, so you can see the response as it's being generated here. Nice. So you can see the responses that you are getting. So now you can try npm cache clean dash dash pause. Then you can insert this response at cursor position, or you can also copy. Then you also see we have use npm ci instead. We also have other responses like npm install no progress. You can also do npm install dash g npm at latest, so etc etc. So that's it about Amazon Q. So you can also open another tab in case you have another question. So how do I install npm version? Maybe you can try out 18.19.4. So you see, so in case you forgot anything as a developer, you can easily brainstorm to get quick solutions to your problems. You can see open your terminal or command prompt, run the following command, do npm install dash g, etc., etc. So you can see yes. So that's how you make use of Amazon Q as a developer. So I'll now open the platform for questions that you might have. Yep.
Well, everything is amazing. I just want to ask, like, are there any more resources? Can we look at resources to like we want to learn more? Where can we find like more resources, you know?
Oh, nice. So you can simply do Amazon Q documentation to get more information about Amazon Q. Yes, so you see here, so you get comprehensive information about Amazon Q. So what I've only covered is just a snippet of how to make use of Amazon Q. Yes, but you see, we now have Amazon Q for businesses. So you see Amazon Q is also available on the AWS Management Console. So this is where I told you that Amazon Q using the AWS Builder ID account, it has an overview of how you make use of your resources, and you can see how to optimize your resources as well as cost. So maybe I can share this for a documentation on how to integrate and make use of Amazon Q. So and also additionally, I also shared that you can make use of AWS repost. It's an example of Stack Overflow of AWS and also the community.aws for developers.
Well, that's nice. Thank you for this session, Sam. It was very informative. Honestly, I think I might learn it like on the ongoing because it's really interesting. You know, you need a helper. You need a helper when you're coding at some point.
Yes.
Okay, that's it for today's session, right?
Yes,
Okay.
unless there are any more questions from our audience.
Sabine, Randa, is there any questions you'd like to ask? Sabine gave us a thumbs up, I guess, so there's no questions. Yeah, here's I get a thumbs up again. Okay, thank you, Sam, for this very informative. Let me stop the recording. Here, stop the recording.